Video, I will show you how to use ChatGPT to build a flowchart for any kind of flow that you may be needing for things like a piece of software or for a user story of some sort. So let's get started. We are going to start by defining for ChatGPT some kind of a scenario or a user story. So I want you to create a user flow for an app where we are going to try and validate that a person trying to purchase a car is really trying to purchase a car and is not a scamster. Period. So define a flow to do the KYC on such a user and ensure that this user is not a fraud. If this person is a fraud, then then add some sort of error flow to let this person not be able to continue, period. All right, so here we have created a little bit of a story to tell it what to do for the user flow. So let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. All right, so here is a bit of a user flow that ChatGPT has generated for me based on the scenario that I've described. Now, if you wanted to, you could go and fix this flow, but I'll just go ahead and take it as is. It's also given us, we should try and protect personal information, user privacy, other stuff. But let's just say I want you to generate XML for this user flow that draw.io can understand. And so now you can see it is generating an XML to represent the user flow that it defined. Now, one recommendation I have here is make sure that you tell it that the XML that gets generated needs to be understood by draw.io, because otherwise it sometimes generates random XML that is basically shows up as empty diagram on draw.io and not completely understandable by draw.io. So it's still going with the writing up the XML here. And one issue sometimes it has is, when it writes a longer piece, it kind of gets off the code block and just goes off into its own non-code block format. So sometimes you have to check if there's a mismatch. Looks like it's correct. It just follows with the quote in front of this width, so we'll be able to just copy it as is. All right, so that is done. So now I'm basically going to copy this code, and I will also copy the rest of this code. Here we go, copy. And I'm going to take it to VS Code, and I will create a new file b.xml here, and I will paste everything that I just copied the quote continues from here on the second part. Okay, so I have just gone ahead and pasted all of it in VS Code. I know it's partially visible to you because I was sharing part of my screen, but it is now saved as an XML file. I'm going to go over to draw.io over here, create a new tab, and then let me maybe make this window a little smaller so you can see here. I will basically go over to File, and what is it doing? Okay, it's acting a little funky. I want to go to this menu, Import From, Device. I want to select my b.xml. It says cannot read properties of null reading length, which was weird, but it seems it pulled it in. And here you can see that it now has that entire flowchart.